Now there's something a little odd about this shadow. It's number 35, so it's an early B, built in the factory, but it's been painted. The drag strut and the ribs have been painted, and the leading edge is covered in fabric. No sign of any paint underneath, so I think that's straight from the factory. It's all a bit peculiar. There we are, one stripped right-hand wing. A lot of tidying up of the surface required, a lot of glue used in sticking the fabric down. And I think I'll be removing these wingtips. I can save 0.8 of a kilogram on each side just by removing them and rounding off the end of the wing with some lightweight glass fibre. The D-box is in very good condition, no sign of paint because it was covered. No damage at all, it looks really good. Well, this came off fairly easily, and there were signs of dampness underneath. It didn't fit very well. There was a huge gap, and there were signs that the water had got in. This will all be part of my new fixed foam flaps, so there won't be a separate piece here. It'll be continuous. You can see how large this wingtip is, and unless it was designed in a wind tunnel, it's not going to have the desired effect. And even then it would only be at a specific speed, so on a microlight they're a waste of time. By cutting out all of this wingtip and replacing it with just a skin on the outside of the foam rib, it will only be the area of this plus the D-box, so it should be a considerable weight saving. Let's see if this one comes off easily. You can see the huge gap there. Yeah, but oddly it's covered in very fine glass fibre before being painted. Whether they were doing that in the factory in the early days, as this is number 35, it was an early B, I'm not sure. But it kind of looks like it's been recovered by a later owner. The skinning doesn't go on this bit here, that would have been trapped. So it may have been retrofitted, the glass fibre skin. And again, I don't think they would have fitted this little web here in the factory. unless they did in the early days again. But that's obviously to provide a shear gluing area for the fabric. Normally it would be glued to this bracket here, but then it can be peeled off. Better to have a shear connection with the wing. And this recess here has been filled in with plywood. Again, that's not normal. Compare it with the other one. The plywood came away with the fabric on this one, so I think that would have been retrofitted by a later owner. Again, there's what remains of the shear webbing. And typical of all shadows, the plated steel pop rivets, wherever they're in contact with wood, have rusted. On Hotel Tango, I replaced all of these affected rivets with stainless steel with the approval of the BMAA. The stainless steel ones were stronger, so no problem. Another thing to point out, this overlap, this skin is overlapped that one. It's been sanded a little bit, but most of the difference in thickness has been taken up by filler, which means that that's still a straight edge there and probably going to crack. It would show through any paintwork, it would crack. Far better to taper this off completely. This skin will be underneath this one by an inch or so, so by tapering this off you reduce the risk of a crack down here. If you feather it to nothing at the joint, then it won't crack. Again, I find this painting of the ribs peculiar. It's not really going to have much of an effect. Well, it will stop the resin turning brown, as you can see there. But worth doing on the spar, because that's only unprotected plywood otherwise. It's very peculiar the way that only the very surface of the resin is affected by sun, and that makes it peel off. It's very weird. So when it comes to recovering, on Hotel Tango I lightly filled the weave of the glass cloth with lightweight microballoon white filler, and then this dark colour doesn't show through the fabric.